Okay, when we're talking about osmosis or the movement of water through the cell membrane, there are three types of environments or solutions we can talk about: isotonic, hypertonic, and hypotonic. This in isotonic, the cell and the environment have the same solute concentration. That is ideal. Hyper means high, so that's when the environment has a higher solute concentration than the cell. And in a hypotonic, hypo means low, so the environment has a lower solute concentration than the cell. So hypo means less. So the environment has less salt here. NaCl is sodium chloride, that's salt, table salt. 10% outside the cell, 20% inside the cell. Where is the water going to go? Well, water loves to go where the salt is. So it's going to go from the environment inside the cell. And that is no good for the cell. That'll cause the cell to swell up and burst. If you look at the O in hypo, that can make you think of a swollen cell. That's because the water is rushing inside. Iso means same. So we have 10% outside, 10% inside. No net movement. Where's the water going to go? Both outside and inside at equal rates. The cell is at equilibrium. Hyper means more or high. So we have a higher salt concentration, 15% outside, 5% inside. Where's the water going to go? Water loves to go where the salt is, so it's going to go outside the cell. And that will cause the cell to shrivel up and die. So when we see this GIF, hypotonic, that swells up, isotonic's happy, hypertonic shrivels up. Now on to active transport. Active means you need energy. Energy is in the form of ATP in cells. And this goes against the concentration gradient. Because we're using energy, it's going to go from low to high concentration. So if you think of a boat sitting out on a lake, there's a high concentration of water in the lake, low concentration of water in the boat. But if you put a hole in it, water's going to go from high concentration in the lake to low concentration inside the boat. The boat's going to start filling up with water. To go from the low concentration in the boat and back into the high concentration of the lake, you're going to need a pump. And that's going to require energy in the form of gas. So that's kind of what active transport. It's going against the concentration gradient. It does that by using protein pumps. These are proteins that pump ions one way against the ion's concentration gradient. This is a picture of a sodium-potassium pump. 3 sodium ions bind specifically to the pump. ATP donates energy. When it gets that phosphate, it's phosphorylated and it changes its shape like it's doing now, causing the sodium to leave the cell, and it opens up to these 2 potassium ions that fit perfectly on the inside. When the phosphate group comes off, it's dephosphorylated and it changes shape, and the potassium ions go into the cell. Okay, exocytosis. Exo means exit. That just means moving big things out through these things called vesicles. Vesicles are just little pockets surrounded by membrane. So the membrane goes to the surface of the cell, and the membrane fuses with the cell's plasma membrane. They two fuse, and the big stuff leaves the cell. Here's a picture of endocytosis. Something gets on the surface of the cell membrane. It pinches in and forms a vesicle. Endo means inside. Here's a picture of endocytosis. We have another GIF there showing endocytosis, moving things in. That's how coronavirus gets into our cells, by endocytosis. Exo is leaving, endo's entering. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you next time.